It's that central issue, and it is very important to a lot of voters, including Republican voters. But it's about a political party that's broken so bad, that's so corrupt, that what they can do for themselves and their own family and their own relationships, they would make illegal and criminal for everybody else.
Well, and I think that's the legacy of this entire era of MAGA Trumpism. It's do as I say, not as I do. They want to talk about family values and being pro-life and the sanctity of life, yet when one of their own is engaged in multiple abortions, they're fine with it. They're out campaigning for them. They're out raising money for them.
Without shame.
And I think it was someone who said, well, as long as he votes Republican, what does it matter? And this is a party that clearly stands for absolutely nothing except trying to obtain power and then weaponizing that power to control other people. I mean, the irony here is that their agenda is we're going to take rights away from women. We're going to do these things, use the instrument of government, big government, which Republicans used to spend a lot of time decrying about. Now they're going to use that to try to tell people what they can and can't do with their bodies. The contrast is so clear and the hypocrisy is off the charts.
You heard Basil, Ron Klain, and the president and Democrats really sharpening the economic message with Liz Truss's collapse around many of the policies Republicans are running on and have already promised to usher in. They seem to have some wind at their backs. How are you feeling about the Democratic messaging in the final weeks?
Well, listen, I have said this before and it was just said. I've said that the Republican opponents are just vehicles. They're vessels for an extreme sort of ideology. And as I said before, you know, Democrats have a lot to talk about. And there are some that wish we had started talking about it a little earlier. But there is a lot that Democrats can talk about. The fact even that, you know, we talked about threats to democracy and it became a top polling point in the summer and in the fall. That means that Democrats have done their job. And as I said, we have a couple of cycles of winning in the suburbs. So we clearly know how to talk about economic issues to suburban voters. There's a lot in our quiver, and we just need to make that strong closing argument and remind voters that, you know, if you vote for Democrats, you're going to get a lot of the same kind of smart policy making that got us out of the pandemic and is charting an economic future.
You get the last word.
You know, one of the questions you asked, Ron, at the end was, what do you want the closing argument to be? The argument is this. If you want to mortgage the future of your children and grandchildren, their financial security, their economic well-being, so that a bunch of millionaires and billionaires can keep getting tax breaks, that they can keep living by a different set of rules than the rest of us, then vote for Republican in November. Otherwise, Democrats are the ones who have funded infrastructure. Democrats are the ones who have funded health care. Democrats are the ones who have passed gun reform. Democrats are the ones who are actually getting things done for real Americans. Republicans have no interest in that.
And the only ones interested in making sure we continue to live in a democracy.
That little thing.
That little thing, too. My personal obsession. Basil and Kurt, thank you so much.